Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to today's live reading of One Quarter Villain by Cori Cooper, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Join me. Chapter 1. Every good fairy tale needs a villain. Of all the gifts Maddy thought she might receive for her 17th birthday, a DNA kit from Heritage Hunt was not on the list, not even in the top 10 or the top 1,000. Wow, Grams, this is. She stretched a smile that she hoped looked more convincing than it felt. Um, Great. Thank you so much. It was a good thing Grams wasn't there in person. Maddy would have a much harder time faking enthusiasm if Grams were sitting across the kitchen table instead of watching her open presents through the computer screen. Do you like it, dearie? Grams moved forward so quickly that her image buffered. For a couple of seconds, Maddy watched tiny pixels of Grams rearrange to form her face again. Maddy examined the writing on the back of the box. I've never done one of these before. How does it work? Oh, it's easy as pie, dearie. You just swipe your cheek with the cotton swab. I do believe there is one included. Pop it in the envelope and send it back to the company. Her smile was so bright that Maddy felt like a despicable human being. Why, what was she expecting from Grams anyway? 2 years ago, she sent Maddy a dusty mirror that looked like it came from a yard sale, and last year Grams had sent a 6-foot staff she had whittled out of wood. When the mail guy delivered it, he was so curious that he stuck around to see what was inside. Remembering that birthday made Maddy grateful at least this year she didn't have Herman the postman watching her pretend to smile while she opened Graham's gift. Maddy set the genealogy kit next to the computer and dug deep for some real sincerity this time. Thanks for always remembering my birthday, Grams. You're the best. Oh, Grams placed a hand over her heart. You sweet, sweet thing. Make sure you call me as soon as you get those results back. I want to see what you're made of. Her laugh sounded like fairy bells. I will. Maddie's voice trailed off as footsteps pounded up the driveway. Hey, Grams, don't go yet. It sounds like Leo's here. He'll want to say hi. Grams pulled her small, square glasses to her nose, making the chain swing gently in front of her neck. I just love that Leo. Is he still handsome as paint? Maddie hid a laugh behind her hand. Who came up with these sayings? Like, who was the person that first thought paint was so handsome that they decided to compare it to somebody they liked? The doorknob rattled a few times and then the hinges screeched as Leo pushed the door open. Leo! Maddie turned all the way around in her chair so he could get the full range of her exasperated look. We talked about this a zillion times. You don't actually live here, you know. It's common courtesy to knock before you barge into someone's home. Maddie, her mom glanced over from the kitchen sink where she was washing dishes and eavesdropping. Leo is a part of this family. He's welcome to walk in without knocking. Okay, sorry. Maddie sighed back into her chair and let the subject drop. That was easier than trying to explain that while the common courtesy thing was important, that she was really thinking of Leo here. Sometimes her dad walked around the house in just Darth Vader boxers and mismatched knee socks. No one should have to experience that. Who are you talking to? Leo rested his chin on Maddie's head so he could see the computer screen. Oh, hey, Grams. How's France? Her name is Agatha, Maddie reminded him. Oh dear, Grams shuddered. Please do let him call me Grams. Agatha is such a dreadful name. I think it's lovely, called Maddie's mom. Thank you, love. Grams blew a kiss, probably aiming for Maddie's mom, but it went toward the bay window instead. What do you kids have planned for Maddie's special day? I'm glad you asked. Leo's chin created a tender spot on the top of Maddie's skull as his jaw went up and down. She didn't want to interrupt what he was saying to ask him to move, so she slouched in the chair to take the pressure off. Leo lifted one hand to take things off his fingers. First, we're going to meet the gang to try out the new escape room by Target. Then we're going to play laser tag for at least 3 hours. After that, I thought a couple of games of paintball would totally rock. Then we're taking Maddie to a sports bar downtown where she can get her fill of greasy burgers, fried cheese curds, and boneless wings and sauce guaranteed to bring on epic heartburn. His voice raised in a rousing sportscaster impersonation, almost making epic heartburn sound like a good thing. Well, Graham's smile was more than a little forced. Doesn't that sound lovely? He's joking, Grams. Maddie rolled her eyes. We aren't doing any of those things. Grams let out a long breath of air. I was quite surprised. I own. You are a tease, Leo. She shook her finger at him. Leo ducked his head in false remorse. Maddy knew it was false because the real thing never showed up for Leo. Maddy pressed her lips together to hold back a smile. What Leo just described would be his dream birthday, not mine. Come on, Maddy, that isn't true. Leo looked serious, too serious, which meant he wasn't serious at all. You know I hate fried cheese curds. Grams chuckled, encouraging Leo even more. Before he could ham it up to the next level, Maddy hooked her foot around the leg of the nearest kitchen chair and pulled it closer. You know, we have chairs. You can sit like a normal person. The seat hit him behind the knees, so he wobbled a bit until he caught his balance. And how does a normal person sit? Leo grinned, but plopped into the chair. He scooted up until his knees bumped into Maddy's legs, and then he leaned forward so his face showed up on the camera. Something about the lighting made his features point upward more than usual. He was like an Italian version of Peter Pan, about to lead the Lost Boys on an expedition against Captain Hook. Leo, the olive-skinned elf with dark hair that curled around his ears. No, not an elf. Elves weren't always mischievous, but Leo sure was. He was more like Puck from the Shakespeare play. Puck, for sure. And a sharp elbow jabbed into Maddy's side. She blinked and looked around. The room was strangely quiet, and Grams watched her with raised eyebrows. Apparently, Maddy had missed something. What? Space cadet. Leo nudged her with his shoulder. Grams asked what you really want to do on your birthday date. It's not a date. Warmth crept up the back of Maddy's neck like someone had just flipped on a space heater right behind her. Leo gave her a strange look. I know, I meant like outing. Oh, right. Maddy concentrated all her energy on Grams's image on the screen, so she wouldn't have to look at Leo until her cheeks turned back to their normal color. You want to know what we're doing today? Or was it Leo who wanted to know what they were doing? Out of the corner of her eye, Maddy noticed Leo start to squirm. He was probably questioning his life decisions right about now. Instead of a gift, Leo always gave Maddy a day to do whatever she wanted. That was bold because the things Maddy liked and the things that Leo liked rarely ever matched up. Yes, dearie, Graham smiled. That's exactly what I asked. Maddy smiled sweetly. We're going to see Beauty and the Beast at Gamage. She paused there to let Leo get his squirming under control, but it increased as soon as she said the word beauty. And now he looked like he was sitting on a chair made of beetles. And then I want to eat at Cup Bop. Maddy knew this would be sticky because Leo was a guy and food was super important. It would have been easier all around if she decided to go out for pizza or something, but Maddy really loved Asian food, and it was her birthday, after all. She hurried to the next thing before he had a chance to decide he wasn't going to like it, even though he couldn't possibly know what kind of food it was based on the name. Then I want to go get ice cream from Handel's. Leo relaxed at last, just like she knew he would. Maddie chose Handel's on purpose because of how much he loved it. He was her best friend, and she didn't want him to be totally miserable the whole time. He needed something to look forward to, something safe and ice creamy. That sounds like a wonderful day. Grams clasped her hand under her chin. I have a soft spot for the story of Beauty and the Beast, I must say, and the musical is just lovely. Wait a sec, Leo sat up straight. Going to a play isn't the same as a movie theater, right? Don't those shows sell out? You have to buy tickets way far in advance, I'm pretty sure. Maddie tried not to laugh at how hopeful he looked. Mom and Dad bought me tickets months ago. I was going to take Izzy or Savannah, but then I decided to use them for your present. Oh, Leo's shoulders dropped. That's lucky then. It was Maddie's turn to lunch Leo. Come on, you could use a little culture. It'll be fun. Right, Leo recovered quickly. He always did. Yeah, of course. Sure it will. What time is this show play thing? Maddie checked the time. Oh, oops, we better go, Grams, just in case there's traffic. Thanks again for the present. Love you. Love you too, my Madalena. Have a wonderful birthday, and please do call me when you get your test results back. I will. Talk to you next week. Same time? Grams nodded and blew a kiss aimed right at the center of Maddie's forehead. This time she was spot on. Maddy waved until Graham's screen went black, and then she shut the lid of her laptop. Leo reached for the Heritage Hunt box. What test? She gave you a test? What is it? What kind of test is this? Maddy didn't bother answering as she stood up and stretched her arms above her head. Leo was doing the same thing where he rapid-fired questions while he was figuring out the answers for himself. He didn't really need her to respond. Oh, this is one of those genealogy things. Why did she give you that? David did one of these when he found out he was adopted, but I don't know why other people do them. Leo tossed the box back onto the table. Time screeched to a halt. Maddie's heartbeat slammed against her ribs so hard it was painful to breathe. Mom? Yes. Her mom was focused on wiping counters, so she didn't look at Maddie. Pounding filled Maddie's ears as her knees began knocking together. Mom? Yes, Maddie. I answered you the first time. Yeah, but you won't look at me. Her voice sounded shrill. Mom. Maddie's mom finally stopped what she was doing and placed one fist on her hip. You have my full undivided attention. What is it? Words rushed up Maddie's throat and got stuck there. She swallowed and tried again. Am I adopted? Is that why Grams gave me this DNA test? Now that the words were out, irritation followed close behind. Graham said she couldn't wait to find out what I'm made of. Is that because she doesn't know what I'm made of? Who am I really? Where did I come from? And why didn't you and Dad tell me yourselves instead of making Grams do it? That is a horrible way to break this kind of news. Leo snickered, but Maddie ignored him. She couldn't put up with his nonsense in the middle of an identity crisis. Adopted? Her mom dropped the grody rag and stepped closer. Whoever gave you such an idea? Maddie jabbed a thumb at Leo. His stepdad was adopted and took this test to find out his family history. Her mom stepped in front of Maddie and rested both hands on her shoulders. Look into my eyes. Maddie did. They were vivid green, like unnaturally green, with a ring of blue right around the pupil, just like Grams's eyes, and just like Maddie's. Of course you aren't adopted. Maddie's mom wrapped her arms around her daughter. You are 100% ours. Maddie took a couple of deep breaths, letting her mom's words calm her down. She had to be telling the truth. Both of Maddie's parents were horrific liars. Plus, since Maddie was an only child, they usually told her everything about everything. She actually quit asking them questions and started using Google because they didn't know when to stop telling her things. They for sure would have told her if she was adopted. She should have remembered that before she ran away with herself. I wish I was adopted, Leo said. Leo, Maddie's mom swatted his shoulder with the back of her hand. What a thing to say. He ran his fingers through his hair. Seriously, have you been to my house? My family put the crazy in Crazy Town. Leo Romano, you be grateful for your family. You would miss them if they were gone. Maddie's mom had to cover her smile with an exaggerated frown. Yes, ma'am. Leo stood up, his posture stiff as a soldier. She shook her head. Are you two headed out? Maddie checked her watch, grateful for something to do other than feel stupid about overreacting. Yeah, are you ready, Leo? Born ready. Leo rubbed his hands together like a supervillain. Let's go watch a chick show, eat food I don't know anything about, and have some great ice cream. That's the spirit. Maddie shot him a look on her way down the hall to fix her hair. She was pretty sure there was a chin-shaped dip she needed to brush out before she went out in public.